Welcome back to Math Concepts. In this video, we are going to discuss the idea of a truth table. And it's a very useful little tool for deciding the truth value of a compound statement. Okay, so in a previous video, we talked about what statements were. They're sentences that we can assign a definite true or false value. And when I say compound statement, I just mean a statement that we have made using other statements and the logical operators of not, and, or, and the conditional and biconditional. Okay, so that compound statement is a new statement made up of other statements. And the truth value of the compound statement depends on the truth value of the component statements. And a truth table makes it really clear what the relationship between the components and the compound statement truth value is. So let's look at a few examples of these truth tables for compound statements.
Okay, so at the end of this video you should be able to complete the truth table for any symbolic statement. Now, if you're going to complete truth tables, you need to know how the basic truth tables work. We have discussed this in a previous video, but I'll review it here. Okay, so the operation of negation. Okay, so this operator takes one statement as input, and if the input is true, then the negation is false, and if the input is false, then the negation is true. Right, now these other operators, or, and, they need two component statements for inputs. All right. Now, by doing these 4 rows here, I have covered every possible combination of true and false values for the two statements. So both true, P is true, Q is false, Q is true, both false. Those are the 4 possibilities. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and kind of copy those values down in my truth table here. Now the OR operator, okay, so both of these values are inputs to the OR operator. Right, now if either of them is true, then the OR gives you a true. If you have at least one true, the OR gives you a true. So the only time the OR operator is going to give you a false is if both inputs are false. So that's the truth table for OR, okay? So this middle column is really the truth table for P or Q. Okay, we need these other steps to get us the answer, but this middle column is really what we want. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now the AND operator only gives us a true when both of the inputs are true. Okay, so that right there, that's the truth table for P and Q. Right, so these are the tools that we are going to need to deal with any truth table for any symbolic statement. Okay, because it's just going to be made up of a combination of symbolic statements and these operators of not, or, and. Okay, those will be the way we combine them. And the way we'll fill out the truth table is we'll just follow the rules for filling out the truth table based on these operators that we have right here. Okay, so let's look at another example. Okay, so in this example, we are going to complete the truth table for not P or P and Q. Okay, when we're dealing with logic, parentheses mean the same thing that they do in arithmetic and algebra. This is what we're supposed to deal with first, and then we work our way out. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start with this right here. That covers all possible truth values of the statements P and Q. Okay. Now, I'm going to kind of write out that statement, that symbolic statement here. Right, now I'm going to work on this stuff first. Okay, I'm going to work here first. So we will fill out the values for P and Q. This is just kind of to remind ourselves of things. I'm really just copying what I have over here. Okay, so these are the truth values of the component statements P and Q, and now we want to see what is the AND operator going to do. All right, well, if it gets both trues, then true. Everything else is false. Okay, so just to kind of, we're filling out this column first, this column second, and then this column third. All right. Now, the negation only applies to P right here. All right. So in this column, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out not P. Now, to do that, I need to look at this column, which is telling me the truth values of the statement P. So if P is true, then not P is false. If P is false, then not P is true. So that's what I filled out fourth. And now this is the last thing that I'm going to do is this column. And the way that I'm going to fill that out is by looking at the column I just filled out here and the column I just did before it. Okay, now we got an OR operator. Now remember, the OR operator gives you a true if at least one of the parts is true. All right, so here we're going to have a true, and a true, because on these rows we have at least one true in the two columns that we're concentrating on. Now in this row, both of the statements are false. So the OR operator is going to give us a false. All right? So this column right here, this is really our answer. That's the truth table for the statement. Okay, now you really need to do the rest of the work. There's no way to just jump to this answer. Okay, go step by step. Don't try to do the whole thing at once. Okay, so go step by step filling this out. And for those of you that are going to be doing the homework on WebAssign, you will need to fill out the whole table. The table is basically your answer, but this is what we're really concentrating on. Okay?